His eyes blazed, his roar split the sky, and snatching up the fresh jawbone of a donkey from the ground, he became destruction incarnate. He struck with supernatural fury, each blow cracking skulls and shattering bone, the ground shaking beneath the weight of his onslaught. Men fell in heaps, screaming, clawing at the earth as they died. Shields splintered, swords flew from hands, and soon the valley was a charnel house, red with blood, littered with corpses piled high like waves on a stormy sea. The Philistine army broke, but Samson did not stop. He pursued them, driven by the fire of vengeance, until 1,000 men lay dead, their bodies silent testimony to the wrath of Yahawah, channeled through one chosen judge. When at last the killing ceased, Samson stood alone amid the carnage, his chest heaving, his skin streaked with blood, his hand still clutching the gore-soaked jawbone. Raising it high, he cried out, his voice echoing across the hills, "With the jawbone of a donkey, heaps upon heaps, with the jawbone of a donkey, I have slain 1,000 men." His triumph was undeniable, yet as the adrenaline ebbed, so too did his strength, and he sank to his knees, parched, trembling, the weight of mortality pressing upon him. "O Yahawah," he gasped, his voice cracking with desperation, "you have granted this great deliverance by the hand of your servant. Will you now let me die of thirst and deliver me into the hands of the uncircumcised?" And Yahawah, who is faithful even when his people falter, split open the hollow ground at Lehi, and water burst forth cool and clear. Samson drank deep, the life returning to his limbs, but as he stared at the stream, a sobering truth settled on him. All his might was nothing without the spirit of Yahawah. Yet even then, pride coiled quietly within his heart. For though he had seen the source of his strength, he still thought himself invincible. Thus the judge of Israel rose once more, a hero to his people, a terror to his foes, and a man walking a narrow path between glory and ruin, his fate already written in the designs of the Almighty. Years passed, and Samson, the judge whose name was spoken with both awe and dread, continued to strike terror into the Philistines, burning their fields, slaughtering their warriors, and humiliating their rulers at every turn. Yet, with every victory, pride gnawed deeper at his soul, and though his strength was divine, his heart grew reckless, seeking pleasure more than purpose. Until one fateful day, in the lush valley of Sorek, he met Delilah, a woman of mesmerizing beauty, whose eyes glimmered like moonlight on still water, whose voice flowed like honey over stone, and whose smile concealed the serpent's fangs beneath. To Samson, she was a respite from battle, a softness to drown his restless spirit, but to the Philistine lords, the key to his undoing, and they came to her in secret, promising silver beyond measure, if she would uncover the secret of his strength. Delilah began her subtle work, coaxing Samson with tender words, feigning love while planting seeds of betrayal. "Tell me, I pray you," she whispered one night, her fingers tracing the scars on his chest. "Where does your great strength lie, and how might you be bound?" At first, Samson toyed with her, weaving lies into his answers. "Bind me with 7 fresh bowstrings, and I shall be weak," he said. And when the Philistines rushed in as she tested his words, he snapped the cords like threads of cobwebs, leaving them fleeing in terror. Again she tried, binding him with new ropes, weaving his hair into a loom, each time crying, "The Philistines are upon you, Samson!" And each time he rose, unbroken, laughing at their futility. Yet though he laughed, a dangerous complacency crept in. His heart, blinded by lust, could not see the trap closing around him. Night after night, Delilah pressed harder, her tone shifting from playful to wounded, her words cutting deeper than any sword. "How can you say, 'I love you,' when your heart is not with me? You have mocked me these 3 times." And Samson, weary of her endless pleading, of the constant gnawing at his resolve, finally broke beneath her persistence, revealing the truth he had never spoken to another. "A razor has never touched my head," he confessed in the stillness of the night, his voice heavy with trust misplaced.